The Montana TikTok ban, introduced by S. Vance, Senate Bill number 419, a bill entitled An Act Banning TikTok in Montana. Not long, 3 pages. Says the PRC is an adversary of the United States, and the PRC has an interest in gaining information about its adversary, the United States and Montana. TikTok is owned by ByteDance, Chinese corporation. PRC exercises control over ByteDance, including real-time physical location of users. It can grab that data. TikTok also gathers information about its users. TikTok fails to remove and may even promote dangerous content that directs minors to engage in dangerous activities, like throwing objects at cars, taking excessive drugs, lighting a mirror on fire and extinguishing it using their body parts, inducing unconsciousness through oxygen deprivation, cooking chicken in NyQuil. The heck is going on this app? Pouring hot wax on a user's face, attempting to break an unsuspecting passerby's skull by tripping him into a hard surface, placing medical objects in electrical outlets, swerving cars at high rates of speed, smearing feces on toddlers, licking doorknobs and toilet seats, attempting to climb a stack of milk crates, shooting passerbys with air rifles, loosening lug nuts, and stealing utilities from public places. Goodness, sounds like a dumpster fire on that app. TikTok is also stealing information and data of its users to share that data with the CCP, infringing on Montana and their right to privacy. They say TikTok's continued operation in Montana serves as a valuable tool to the PRC, engaging in espionage, offering real-time tracking locations of public officials, journalists, and other people adverse to the CCP. And this is dangerous, threatening the health and the safety of Montanans. So here's how it works. Here's the prohibition. TikTok may not operate within the territorial jurisdiction of Montana. All right, so from that sentence alone, it sounds like it can't geographically have a facility. An entity violates this prohibition if any of the following occurs within the territorial jurisdiction of Montana. The operation of TikTok by the company or users, right? So it's not even the company that's operating, the users using the app. The option to download the TikTok mobile application by a mobile application store, right? It's got to get out of the app store. An entity that violates a provision of this section liable $10,000 for each discrete violation, $10,000 each day. So that entity would mean, I think, Google or Apple. It is an affirmative defense of this section if the violating entity could not have reasonably known that the violation occurred within the territorial jurisdiction of Montana. Okay, so this is a situation where, let's say Google is considered to be liable. Somebody downloaded and used the app in Montana. Google says, okay, yeah, we admit they did download and use the app in Montana, but we had no idea it occurred within Montana. We had no idea. And if that was reasonable, Google won't be liable for that. Let's, I don't know the technology side of this, but let's say somebody got a phone in another state, looks like it's registered in another state. They go into Montana. They use the app in Montana. They got the phone in another state. Minnesota catches that, sends a subpoena to Google. Google can say, we had no idea it was in Montana, okay? He came over from Arizona. Then if it was reasonable, they wouldn't be liable for that penalty. Penalties under this section do not apply to law enforcement activities, national security activities, government uses permitted by the governor, research activities for security purposes. Penalties in this section do not apply to users. So if you're in Montana and you download the app, penalty wouldn't apply to you. The DOJ, I'm guessing in Montana, shall enforce the provisions of this section. So meaning they'll monitor the app stores and assess violations. The following definitions. Discrete violations means that a user accesses TikTok, is offered the ability to access TikTok, or is offered the ability to download TikTok. So that's a pretty serious violation. You got to imagine each time that a user accesses it is going to be a discrete violation. Each discrete violation is $10,000. Woo. So every time they download it. A mobile application means a type of software program designed to run on a mobile device, common. Entity means a mobile application store or TikTok. Territory means Montana. TikTok means TikTok. Some very limited instructions and an effective date starting January 1, 2024. So some time to figure out the nuts and bolts of how this would work. This section is void if TikTok is acquired or sold to another country that's not a foreign adversary. So it sounds like their biggest attempt to actually enforce this, to get this implemented, is going to be to get it removed from the app stores by essentially threatening Apple and Google, saying if you violate this, if people are downloading this app in our state, you're in violation of that. $10,000 for every download and $10,000 each day if the violation continues. The offering of TikTok, you can see they deleted this section, the offering of TikTok by an ISP. So they immunize the ISPs here, because I think that would be harder to enforce, right? This would be like your internet provider filtering the data, and they don't really have much control over that. So I think that would be hard to enforce. But the other sections I think would be more appropriate. I mean, we know that the big tech platforms already have infrastructure in place to do this, right? Now, I don't know if they can do it granularly by state, but they can do it granularly by country. So maybe they could do it by state. And I don't know why else they wouldn't be able to do it by state. They can run ads by state. So we'll see what Google does. I imagine they will sue over this pretty quickly. We'll see what that lawsuit looks like. But an interesting development. And this is really something that mirrors a lot of what people were suggesting at the federal level, is you just make it illegal to put it in the App Store. Congress just says, hey, this is a national security threat. It's now illegal to have this app in the App Store, and game over, right? The app is just not downloadable anymore. And there would be lawsuits and all sorts of other things, but the great weight of Congress putting pressure on Google and Apple, I think that would just basically kneecap TikTok immediately without even much fight over it. You just pull it out of the app stores, just like they do with anything else. Remember what happened to Parler when they pulled it out of the App Store? Didn't go so well.